So now we're going to do our prayer. So I invite everybody to close your eyes and let the Spirit come and relax our minds, our souls, and feel blessed for the moment we open your eyes in the morning and have this opportunity right now to hear the lessons from Jesus, the blessings from God, and the spirits, the good spirit that surround us. We are thankful, Lord, for all the blessings we have. Every single one, even though we don't notice, even though we don't understand everything that has happened to us. But we know, we have faith that everything is under your control. And because of that, we can rest, we can be in peace. Jesus, we ask to bless and take care of each one that is in the hospitals, in the prisons, orphanage, homeless. Each person that needs feel loved and care. Be with them as you are, and we feel that you are right now with us. We ask the good spirits to be with Edilson and give him peace and clearness so he can talk what he have to come and be in peace. Thank you. Edilson, now it's with you. Thank you so much one more time. And that's it.
I myself have to thank you, Anna. I have to thank you guys who are there. And actually, I have to say, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Too formal for comfort. If you don't mind, I'd like to call you brother and sister. First of all, because we're part of the same family. We're part of this universal family. So you're really my brother. You're really my sister. So I'm going to start it all over again. Good afternoon, brother. Good afternoon, sister. How have you been? I really hope you've been doing great. I am great since I'm here talking to you right now, having this great opportunity to talk to you about God, about Jesus and Jesus's gospel, which is our guide. I mean, his gospel is our guide. It's a pleasure to be here. And I'm saying here because although we are distant, I feel really close to you. I really feel close to your hearts, and I want you to feel close to my heart as well. And as our friend said, we are surrounded by spirits right now. We are surrounded by other brothers and sisters because, as I said before, we are part of the same family, the same universal family. We are the children of the same Father, our Lord. So we have to thank the opportunity, and we have to ask this one spirits, these brothers and sisters, who we cannot see with these material eyes, we cannot hear with these material ears, but they're here, and they're looking at us, and they are able to see how fragile we are, and they are able to see our needs, and they are able to put on us the remedies we need right now. Being them remedies related to our spiritual situation, related to our emotional situation, our feelings, and even our bodies. Because if we have these material needs, and in case we can be helped right now, we are going to be helped. They're going to, let's say, they're going to pour remedies on our bodies. Thank you for this one opportunity. Well, we're talking about being brother, sister, and of course, our older brother, his figure, his face, his name with capital letters has just crossed my mind. Of course, I'm talking about Jesus Christ, our older brother. You know, my brother, my sister, he is the only one, the only perfect spirit that one day came to this material world to put on this clothes. And I'm speaking figuratively. Of course, I'm not talking about clothes. I'm talking about this body, the material body. He's the only perfect one that one day came to the planet to put on this body, to erect a body, to show us the north, to guide us, not only from his words or through his words, but also or especially his examples. And it was Jesus who said something that we still remember, that echoes. He said, "In my Father's house are many mansions. In my Father's house are many mansions." It sounds kind of strained, even grammatically strained. And we can start even thinking about this, but is it possible? You know, a house cannot have mansions. An enormous house can be a mansion. So I'm gonna ask for permission so that I can change it a little. How about saying there are many rooms in our things? Jesus is now is our brother, our older brother. So how about saying that there are a lot of or many rooms in our Father's house? It sounds better, doesn't it? We feel closer to Jesus and we feel closer to God, our Father. But Jesus said that, right? And it makes me think about how we react every single day when we wake up. Because we wake up, we gotta get up, and we go like this. Okay, in which room of our Father's house I want to be today? In other words, this is what I ask myself, and this is what I suggest that everyone who is right now attending this meeting online or in person, my brother, my sister, let's ask ourselves this one question every single morning when we get up. I mean, before we get up, when we wake up, what are my goals today? I myself ask this question. What are my goals today? And you might know I'm a teacher back here in Brazil. And as a teacher, you probably know that I have to prepare my classes, I have exams to correct, I have to spend time with my students, not only teaching, but also sharing experience, sometimes listening to their problems and things like that. This is what a teacher has to do. But there are other professionals, like a dentist. I'm sure that when a dentist, if you are, my brother, my sister, a dentist, when you wake up, you probably think about your goals on that day. You go like, okay, so today, let me check my appointment book. I have these procedures. I have this patients to see. If you're a doctor, maybe a surgeon, you go like, okay, so today I have to operate on these people or this one person, or I have the appointments with these patients. If you're a mechanic, you probably go like, okay, so there is that car that I have to finish repairing. It doesn't matter what job you've got. You really think about your material goals, which are extremely important because we are living in one material world. So we need to think about the material things. You might be asking yourselves, okay, I gotta work because I gotta raise money. If I don't raise money, how can I raise my family? How can I support my family? How can I pay the bills and everything? And you were totally right. That's what I have to do. They are really important goals, essential goals. But being essential my brother, my sister, doesn't mean that they are the primary goals that we have to have in our lives. In fact, the main goal we gotta have to answer this one question every single morning: what are my goals today? In fact, the question should be, what is my main goal today? The answer is a single one. The answer is simply, I have to become better. I have to be better today than I was yesterday. Simple like this, brother, sister. There is nothing else. All the other things which are essential, as I mentioned before, but they're all related to our material life, they are secondary goals. They're not our main goal. Our main goal is simply to be better today than we were yesterday. If we analyze, if we study Jesus' gospel, in all his examples, in all the things that he said, this is exactly what he's telling us. And I said he's telling us because he started telling us this about 2,000 years ago, and he still tells us that. So he has been telling us that is to be a better person. Just like that. And it's pretty easy, isn't it? No, it's not. It's nothing easy. It's not easy at all. Well, back here in Brazil, we use one proverb, one expression that you do, that you also use in America. Well, especially people who go to the gym. We, I don't go to the gym anyway, but we here, meaning Brazilians, we tend to say, no pain, no gain, which means that we have to be forged in a way so that we can improve. There is another proverb which I like a lot, which is, there are no free lunches. And we also have this one in Portuguese, and sometimes in Portuguese, we use another one, which I believe you don't have in English, which is like this: nothing falls from the sky, which means there are no free lunches, no pain, no gain. That's it. In order to be better people, in order to achieve our main goal, our primary goal, which is to be a better person today than we were yesterday or than I was yesterday, we have to, let's say, fight against our instincts, which is not an easy thing. We know that. But the point is, there is a question which crosses our mind when we talk about this. The point is, why is it worth the effort? I'm going to repeat it. Why is it worth the effort if it's not easy? Okay, what happens is, and I'm going to compare. I don't know about you guys, but here in Brazil, oh, you know that we just love soccer. And here we have our nationwide championship. And the team that is the winner, that will be the winner at the end of the championship, is the one that adds more points. This team will start counting the points, the victories and the draws and everything. And the team that has got more points at the end of the championship is the champion. Simple like that. Sometimes we get to know the champion before the championship game, because the other teams, mathematically speaking, cannot, let's say, be on a par with this one. Okay, but what happens is, at the end of a championship, we get to know the winner, and that's it. The championship is over. And the next year, we'll have another championship. And you know, the champion from last year's champion, well, he will start the championship with no points at all. 0. Just like every other team. All right, but this is not what happens to us as living beings, as Jesus' brother or sister. This is not what happens to us. Every single move toward God, toward what God's law, makes us improve, and it counts. If we analyze what's written, the message that we have in chapter 1 of Heaven and Hell, or the Divine Justice according to Spiritism, this chapter is called Future Life and Annihilation. In that, in those lines, in that paragraph, Kardec makes us reflect a little. He goes like this: why is it worth the effort if we don't believe that we will survive? We will survive the death of the body. Because if we don't believe we will continue living, guys, my name is Edilson, but you can call me Edilson if it is, let's say, easier in English. This Edilson is not what you can see now. You can simply see my body. This is physical material. This is not what will survive. Actually, this body will one day collapse. I hope it does only in 40 years, right? I'm 47. I want to live till 80 something. But only this body will collapse. The intelligence, the spirit, which is moving this body, which is verbalizing these words now, which is using this body to verbalize words, will never die. It is as a spirit will never die. This is the reason, according to Kardec, in Heaven and Hell, this is the reason why it is worth the effort. Yeah, it pays off. Our points at the end of the championship, figuratively speaking, talking about our life, our points will be taken into consideration, because these points are our improvements. And as spirits who will live forever, we will never lose these points. They'll always be with us. What did Jesus say? In my Father's house are many mansions. What did we say? There are many rooms in our Father's house. Okay, and now I invite you to reflect a little about Jesus' saying. Okay, if we look at our book, The Gospel According to Spiritism, chapter 3, item 2, we have at the beginning of this paragraph the explanation. There, I'm going to use my words to say that. There, we have the information that Jesus was talking about the other planets, the other worlds in the universe. My brother, my sister, although we tend to live on an eternal or endless ego trip, we have such great pride. Although we are like this, if we leave our homes, I'm talking about the physical thing, the beauty itself, if we live it, if we look up, we will see that it's impossible to admit that we are the only living beings in this universe. It's not possible to believe it. We don't even know how big it is. We cannot think that we, mankind, we are the only ones that think and that have a life. No. So, the gospel, according to Spiritism, is totally right. Kardec is totally right when he says that Jesus says that the other rooms, the other mansions, the other places are the other planets. But this is explanation number 1. In the same paragraph, we have the second explanation, and this one is even more interesting. And we have proof to talk about it. In the same paragraph, Kardec explains that These rooms, these mansions, these places are not physical ones. They're related to feelings. The way we feel when we enter the spiritual world, in other words, when we become wandering spirits. And here, I feel I have to talk about being wandering spirits because if you are not familiar with Spiritism, you might think that we will start walking with no destination. No, this is not the point. It's just terminology, just to explain that you are not in this material world. You are not erecting this body anymore. You are in the spiritual world. Simple like that. That's what it means to be a wandering spirit. Of course, there are spirits that might be wandering, literally speaking, totally lost. But this is not why we have this one expression. All right. The second explanation for these rooms in our Father's house is how we feel. Simply how we feel after we pass away, after the body collapses. And I said that we have proof because in our mediumistic meetings, our seances, spirits, people who are not in this world anymore, I mean, in the material world, because they are on the planet, they come to tell us how they're feeling. And of course, some of them come and say, they talk about their fortunate. They say they're feeling well, they have already met their relatives, they are still, let's say, improving themselves, their feelings. But some of them, they don't even know they have already passed away. They're totally lost. Because, my brother, my sister, the way we feel after we pass away is exactly the way we are feeling now. We don't change immediately out of the blue just because our body stops working. It doesn't exist. It makes no sense at all. If you hate someone and you die, you feel greater hate because you don't have the body as a filter. If you love someone, after you pass away, your love will even expand because you don't have, as I said before, this filter, which is our body. So, this is the second explanation for the room, one of the rooms in our Father's house. But then I would like to ask for permission so that we can talk about a third explanation. We are talking about how we feel after we die. But how about how we feel now? How we are doing now? When I started this talk with you, I asked you this question. How have you been? How have you been doing? Have you been experiencing sadness? Have you been experiencing depression? Have you been experiencing happiness? How have you been? And then all these feelings that I have just mentioned can be considered rooms in our Father's house. If we understand that our Father's house is simply the opportunity to live this one life, this Edilson life, this Anna life, Sandra life, and anybody else's life. If we understand, if we use it figuratively, our Father's house is the opportunity we've got now. This life we have now. The life we have now. Which room are we occupying? Which room are we in? It's an important question, and it's totally connected to the question that we asked at the beginning of our speech, of our talk, of our chat, our conversation. What is my main goal today? My main goal is to be a better person. I must be better today than I was yesterday. Simple like this. Because if I am really making an effort to be a better person today, it means that I am opening the door of the room related to happiness, related to less suffering. Exactly, less suffering. But, Ariel-san, we live in a world where suffering is the main thing. It is a world of atonement and trials. I know that. But, we learned that happiness is not part of this world. Not entirely, not totally, not 100%. But we must, we should at least try to live this one life happily. And how can we do this if we still have to face problems, remembering that we have an older brother who is taking care of us? Oh, I don't believe Christ can be beside me. Christ is everywhere because he is our older brother who is perfect. Let's keep this in mind. Let's bear this in mind. He's perfect. He can be everywhere. He knows me much better than I think I know myself. And you know what? Surrounding us, we have all his representatives, his arms in this one planet. Spirits, people who love us, people who we cannot remember right now, because here we are, awake in the material world. But people, spirits, brothers, sisters, people who have already been our fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, people who we relate to and are now wandering spirits, but they're with us. They're here to help us. No pain, no gain. There are no free lunches, I would say. There are free lunches. I'm changing this one proverb. There are no free lunches, but there are free lunches. So now it's a paradox. And why am I saying this? Because, of course, we have to do what we're supposed to in order to become better. But we are not alone. The free lunches are the presence of these brothers and sisters with us who have been helping us from the moment we decided no, we accepted to come back. Not to say that some of us were forced to come back to earth to experience the material life again. They have been with us for such a long time, and they are the ones who will receive us, welcome us back home, in the real home, the spiritual world. That's it. But we can live life better. We can be in this happier room. Let me tell you something. Let me share this one story with you. It was June 2019, consequently, 3 years ago. Um, Back here in our town, we have one reunion, which is, I'm going to translate it so that you can clearly understand it. I guess we could call it like um, a Spiritist youth reunion. What am I talking about? Every single Spiritist society has a group of teenagers who are guided, who are helped, who are oriented according to Jesus' gospel. But once a year, these groups of teenagers, young people, we get together. They get together because I'm not that young, right? So they get together to share experiences. In 2019 was the last time that we got together in person for obvious reasons because of the pandemic, COVID-19. Last year, the year before, there was the reunion online. But anyway, it was June 2019. And thank goodness I had been invited to be, since we are older, to be one of the people who, let's say, get these guys oriented during the meeting, during the reunion, right? So we have different groups, and these groups have they are invited to reflect about Jesus' sayings and everything. And I was one of these uh, guides, let's put it this way, one of these people in charge of the groups. So we were having one meeting to talk about the last arrangements. And then there was a meeting with us. We got a message, a communication, one mediumistic communication from Ivan. I'm going to say his name with this Portuguese accent. Ivan de Albuquerque. Ivan de Albuquerque. I'm going to call him Ivan. A spirit who lived in Brazil, right? And he is the one who is in charge of this youth, this teen groups of spiritists, right? Anyway, his message was really simple, but one that I will never forget. Let me tell you what he told us. Okay, first of all, he said that we, as older people, we must be the ones who give the example. We have to be role models, Christian role models, although we are limited. We are totally, let's say, we are imperfect. That's it. But we have to try to be better. We have to answer that question. We have to be better today than yesterday. And by doing this, we have to be role models so that our teens can observe us and go like, okay, we have to, let's say, try to be better as well. Well, he said that, but he also said something so interesting, profound, deep. He said, the only way for us to avoid suffering incarnations, suffering lives, lives full of troubles, full of problems, pain. The only way is through Jesus' gospel. All right. He said something like, okay, the only way to avoid the line, the queue, or the lines and the queues to a next life full of suffering, trouble, is through Jesus' gospel. Right, so now we have the answer, guys. Let's all run to a Spiritist society because there we will learn about Christ, which is amazing, right? Okay, this is it. This is right. However, this is not gonna, let me put it in quotation marks. Guys, just a second, please. Just a second. Someone is sending messages here. So sorry. Right. So going to our Spiritist society is not the only thing. We need something else. That's why I'm going to ask for permission. I'm going to ask Yvonne for permission so that I can add something. The only way to avoid all the suffering in our next lives, as well as in this one life, is through Jesus' gospel. But if we get it and put it into action, this is the only way. We must get Jesus' gospel, learn, and put it into action. In our Spiritist center, in our Spiritist house, or in our Spiritist society, we have a motto, right? And this motto is very simple. It is just like this. It consists of three words: knowledge and love. Knowledge we learn when we go to a Spiritist society, when we learn from Jesus' gospel. And love, there is love when we are in touch with people everywhere. It doesn't matter where. We have the chance. We really have the chance to be just like the invisible ones, to be Jesus' arms in this one planet. we have this one opportunity. Let me tell you something. Um, we were told a story, and let me tell you the three main characters of this story. They're all monks. Brother Joseph, the one who told us the story, Brother Joseph, Brother John, and Brother Fabian of Christ. According to Brother Joseph, every single Wednesday, Brother John would like to attend the service at church because he would meet Christ there. But as a monk, he had other things to do. He had to work. And what happened, according to him, was that every single Wednesday, the Mass would start at 9. And about 20 minutes before 9, the same boy would go up to Brother John and say, Brother John, I'm hungry. Can you give me something to eat? And Brother John, with his generous heart, would provide him with some food. Well, then, after he was finished with the food, he would say, Brother John, now I'm thirsty. Could you please give me something to drink? And Brother John would again generously provide the boy with some drinks, but thinking about the service that would start at 9, thinking, oh my Lord, I gotta be there, but I have to freshen up before I go there. I'm sweaty. My clothes are dirty. And then when he finished drinking, he would even say, inevitably, Brother John, I was playing with friends and I got injured. I injured myself. Could you please put on some ointment or something like this? And Brother John would do it. But then, after the boy left the place, Brother John would rush to church to attend the service. And it didn't happen only once, it used to happen. And it started bothering Brother John. He was really generous, but he just wanted to freshen up, maybe to change his clothes. Nobody wants to go anywhere dirty, sweaty. And one day, Brother John vented his feelings. He talked to Brother Fabian of Christ. And he said, Brother, this has been happening and I have to rush here. Look at the way I am. I'm dirty. According to Brother Joseph, Brother Fabian of Christ took his time, look at it, the figure of Christ for some minutes. Look back at Brother John and said, Brother John, look at Christ. What kind of clothes is he wearing? He's just wearing a piece of cloth. There is blood all over his body. He's totally dirty. There is dust on his body. And that is the way he went up to God to ask for us, to ask God to forgive us because we didn't know what we were doing. And he added, Brother John, Jesus doesn't pay attention to the clothes we put on our bodies. Figuratively speaking, he observes the clothes that we put on our heart. In other words, our feelings. What is my main goal today? It is to be better today than I was yesterday. Brother John probably thought that by going to church, he would meet Christ. But Christ was in the figure of that boy, because that was the opportunity for him to do something. My brother, my sister, in order to be the arms of Christ on this planet, we just have to observe people and do small things. Through the small things, or by doing the small things, we will improve ourselves. If we lend them our ears so that they can open their hearts, they can talk to us about their problems. If we can help them, if we can donate, okay, that's fine. But if we simply donate our time, if we give our time, our attention, if we say hello, if we say good morning, but a very warm one, and especially if we don't hate, we are becoming better people. We are achieving our goal. The other day, I got a gift. I got Jesus's love jar. I'm going to repeat myself. I got Jesus's love jar. What is it? I got home and my wife told me, honey, one of our neighbors, she has been living here for on the same street for about 18 years. I've been living here for about 27 years. Not about, for 27 years. And I don't talk much with her because as a teacher, I leave home early. I just come back home in the evening. I just say, hello, how have you been? Things like that. But my wife said, look at what she gave us. She gave us Jesus's love jar. Jar, sorry. What was there in the jar? Jesus's love. Okay, but Jesus's love doesn't make us fat or fatter, heavier, and that would make me fatter. I'm talking about papaya sugar candy. Okay, please don't stand up and leave the place. I'll explain it. My neighbor sent us papaya sugar candy. And said me because my wife has got diabetes, so she wouldn't eat that. I was the one who would eat that. She stopped her life to remember that we do exist. We're not close friends. She stopped her life. She paid attention to us. She surely put all her love while you're preparing that. She had a ton of other people who she could give that present to. She gave that to us. Jesus' love was there. Jesus' love can be anywhere. We just have to pay attention. My brother, my sister, we are running out of time. I would like to finish our talk today by reading one mediumistic communication. It's about someone who had already passed away, of course, a spirit who had already visited a meeting and was there for the second time. And he said he said exactly like this. Good evening, everyone. I'm here to let you know I'm so glad for having been helped in this one meeting. When I got here, I was sort of crippled and untidy. But you talked to me, and from that moment on, I've been making good decisions. I'd like to let you know that I've already met my family. When I first got here, I was indeed suffering from hate, a lot of hate. I had even gotten deformed. I was going through a lot of troubles and pain. I was suffering a lot because I was attached to deadly hate. However, later on, you talked to me in this one meeting. Even I wasn't willing to change a bit, I think I gave myself a chance to have second thoughts, to think over the things I listened to. And you know what? Time has proven that that was the best thing I could have done. Nowadays, I feel much better than I was some time ago. I'm not where my family is yet, since I don't deserve it. Hate made me worse, a much worse person. We shouldn't hate anybody. We shouldn't even break someone's heart. Do you know why? Because hate and remembering bad things others have done towards us just lets us down and makes us feel worse. But I listened to you. I carefully listened to everything you said. The reading of that book got into my head. That book, which is a blend of Jesus' remarks and other things. I kept everything in mind. He was talking about the gospel according to Spiritism. Because of all that, today I'm able to visit my relatives, and they can come to visit me at times. Is there a better gift? No, there isn't. I've been working hard to improve myself, my feelings, so that I can join them someday. I came here this evening to thank you as well as to share my own experience, which is not a good example. It's an example, a story of someone who has fallen, but of someone who is getting back on their feet again. God bless you, your good intentions, your perseverance, your lives. My brother, my sister, thank you very much. Thank you. Feel embraced. Feel good vibrations, my love, back here from Brazil. I wish you all the best. And remember, when we get up, just keep in mind you were able to do it. You are able to be a better person. We have to try. We can never throw in the towel. We can never give up. God said that we are gods. Jesus said that we are gods. Consequently, we can move mountains. We can improve ourselves. Thank you very much.